Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting season of Norristown Eagles football. I'm Walt Fry, along with Greg Fry. Greg trading in the statistics pencil for the microphone. Greg, good to have you on this side of the camera. Welcome. And you certainly picked a good time to begin the football broadcasting. Norristown's off to a rolling 2-0 start.
Yeah, they came out flying out of the chute this year, and they're looking for their first 3-0 start since 1991, and just playing great football and winning games, doing whatever they have to do to win.
That's right, and the Eagles still in the Power 10 of Suburban 1 National Conference. This will be their second league game tonight against the Abington Ghosts. Norristown 2-0 overall, as Greg mentioned, and 1-0 in the league after their win last week. Now, Greg, this is a team that has some returning veterans and really some key players who have matured last year.
Yeah, of course you always have to look at Troy Swittenberg. He's only a junior, so you can't say that he's the most experienced veteran on the team, but you can tell by the way he runs. We called him a veteran last year because of the way that he runs, and this year he's just getting even better.
Absolutely, very mature running back and be a lot of fun to watch. Troy Swittenberg is off to a flying start this year. And of course, you look at the quarterback. This year it's Chris Blake, the senior captain. Chris Blake, another player we saw really mature in front of our eyes last year, and again off to a pretty good start, leading his team to 2-0.
Well, everyone knew that Chris Blake had a strong arm last year, and there were some decisions that he made that were bad and some decisions that he made that were good. This year he's making more consistent decisions, and he's really playing very well and leading this offense to the 2-0 start that they're at right now.
That's right, and Norristown at this point just playing pretty good mistake-free football. On the other side of the ball for the Eagles is a defense with some playmakers, some returning players, but again, a defense that's just doing enough to keep the Eagles really in the game so that offense can win the games for them.
Well, the Week 1 game here against Westchester Henderson, Troy Ellis was absolutely amazing, and he was named Defensive Player of the Week by the Times-Herald. And then you have Doug White on the line, who pretty much everyone in this league fears because he's just so big and covers so much space and is just such a good defensive lineman.
Of course, their opponent tonight, the Abington Ghosts, off to an 0-1 start after an extremely rough year last year, and this year looking like it could be another tough one for the Ghosts.
Yeah, Abington had a really tough year last year, as you said, winless, and lost to CB West last week, 56-7. So this will be a good chance to see if Abington can really come through and see what they're made of tonight against Norristown.
That's right, so the Eagles will have to keep themselves solid. It'll be a good early season test to see if they can keep their focus after a couple of big wins. We'll be right back to bring you this exciting game in a moment. Welcome back to Roosevelt Field, where the Abington Ghosts have just won the toss and will elect to receive. Abington will be going left to right in this first quarter, as the Norristown captains, co-captains this year, Chris Blake and Troy Ellis. So Norristown trying to ride the momentum of their late touchdown last week against the Pennsbury Falcons to give them a 19-17 win. And this week again, going against the 0-1 Abington Ghosts. Now for the play-by-play, Greg Fry.
Thanks, Walt. Nice to be here tonight. It's a lovely night for Norristown football. A little warmer than some of the nights that we've had in the past.
Still a summer night.
Yep.
Got a couple more days, and it certainly feels like it here tonight.
Just absolute beautiful night for football. And Norristown football team heard that they were fired up for tonight's game. They're not going to look past this game, apparently.
Certainly, I'm sure the Eagles are very excited for this being their first league home game of the season. Started out the season at home in a non-league contest. And the Pennsbury Falcons were defeated on the road for the Eagles.
Okay, looks like we're ready to start here. Norristown breaking out of their huddle right now. And Kevin Quaglia ready to kick off for the Norristown Eagles. Returning for Abington will be number 1, Damian Newman. And number 2, Malik Mills. Malik Mills brings it out to the 28-yard line, hit by a Norristown player. Let's set the lineups for you here for the Abington offense. We have Jeremy Goodwin starting at quarterback tonight. John Connor and Jimmy Johnson are the running backs. Dave Brooks is the fullback. Paul Sharp is the tight end. Offensive line is Carl Vonderheed, Pat Cornell, Nate Knox, Andre Willis, Brian McLaughlin. For the Norristown defense, we're going to watch the first play here. Goodwin handoff up the middle. Swarm of Norristown players right there. Let's set that Norristown defense for you.
Norristown going with their standard 5-2. Across the front, it's going to be Mike Wilson, Big Doug White, who we mentioned in the pregame. Mike Ginyard on the nose tackle. Yaboa Kabold, defensive tackle, and defensive end Jimmy Davis. The linebackers, Troy Ellis and Jameel Butler, made that great play on the return. Corners are Troy Swittenberg, Dale Johnson. Safeties, Trey Hadrick and Audley Stewart.
Here's 2nd down and 8 from the 32-yard line. Ball up the middle and just stuck by the Norristown defense. Like we had pretty much the whole line in for Norristown right there. Doug White and Troy Ellis coming out of the pile there.
Yeah, that's Doug White's job, is to get low there, and Norristown linebackers always fill those gaps. That 5-2, those linebackers have such responsibility to get into those gaps.
You're right, Walt. That line has to be strong in the formation that they play. Well, a 3rd and 5 for Abington right here. Back to pass. Out to number 22, John Connor.
Connor made a nice move there, get away from the Norristown defender. It's going to be up close to the first down. And we're going to have official time for the measurement.
Well, slowing the game down already. Only a minute and 25 seconds into the game.
And Abington showing some diverse offense. But with those 3 backs, Greg, you're going to have to watch all of them. They do play with a bunch of wide receivers. Any number of guys who can come out there to catch that ball from quarterback Goodwin. But with those 3 backs, they all run the ball, but they do like to throw them as well. Measurement's close on this sideline. Really tough for us to see.
And Abington comes up short, so they'll have a 4th and inches, I would say.
Looked like less than a foot from the measurements. Abington pinned back here. We'll see if Coach Doug Moister is a risk taker at this point. And I don't see any punter coming out.
Appears that Abington's going to go for it, and this would be a big event in the game early on, being pinned back in their own end of the field. They don't get this first down, so they really have to do everything they can to get it.
Yeah, it is an early chance for Norristown to win the battle of field position. So important, especially against a team that's struggling. Norristown can really put a blow to Abington's confidence right here.
So we'll have 4th and less than 1. Abington, pretty much 10 guys on the line. Quick handoff. Appears that they got it. And it's a first down for Abington. So using all 4 downs on the first drive, but...
Yeah, and it was a nice carry by Dave Brooks, the fullback that time. He was stopped originally, but he just kept working his way right down the line, and finally slipped past the Norristown defender. Just dove forward for that first down. So a big chance there for Doug Moister, and maybe that'll put a little confidence back into the Ghosts.
Abington in their 3-back offense once again. Goodwin on the keeper. And a big gain for Abington. Huge up the middle. It appeared to be Goodwin on the keeper. Just absolutely just cut through the Norristown defense there, Walt.
Yeah, that time Abington fooled Norristown by going with the first man through, faking the handoff. I believe it was Brooks, the first man into that line, but Goodwin on the keeper. Greg, they do play a 3-back wishbone, but we haven't seen much of an option look, which you usually see out of that wishbone. That time, Goodwin faked the handoff and went straight up the middle.
So Abington driving here early in the game, hopefully trying to make a statement to the Norristown Eagles. Quick handoff up the middle. Number 34, Dave Brooks, and he's stopped right at the line.
And so far, Abington is pounding it at Norristown at that big line with Dave Brooks, a 215-pound fullback. And you expect to see a change of pace at some point. I think Abington will stay at the power game right now, but you do expect to see Connor and some of their other faster backs getting into the action pretty soon.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10 for Abington. From about the Norristown 37-yard line. Goodwin, the quick hitter to Connor. That's incomplete. Covered well out there by Mike Wilson coming off of the line.
And that's the same play they used on 3rd down a little while ago. They bring Connor out of that backfield very quickly and just try the quick hitter. That time, Goodwin threw short to Connor.
We appear to have a player hurt on the field, Yaboa Kabold. Well, what does Abington have to... that appears to be... It's Yaboa Kabold on the field. Well, what does Norristown have to do to stop this Abington offense tonight?
Well, I think they're right now just trying to figure out what Abington's doing. I mean, with 3 backs back there, I'm sure Norristown's tried to scout the Ghosts, but with only 1 game to look at, and that against CB West, who doesn't look like Abington did much at all against, it's really, really tough to tell what Abington's going to do. I mean, you see those 3 backs. You can't key on any one guy right now because you just don't know who it's going to. I think Norristown should probably count themselves lucky that Abington's deciding to just go with Brooks up the middle. He's not going to gain a lot of yards on every carry, and he's sort of diving right into that line as Abington tries to wear out the defense real early right now. So I think Norristown's just trying to feel them out, and at this point trying to bend but not break.
Abington with 4 wide receivers. Goodwin back to pass. Norristown players in pursuit. Pass over the middle is caught. That was number 25, Jim Johnson, for a big gain for Abington. That's a huge play on 3rd and 10 for Abington. That's got to build their confidence.
Yeah, Doug White was applying pressure, but boy, a lot of maturity that time from Jeremy Goodwin. He's a senior quarterback, and as Doug White, 300-pound Doug White, bearing in on him, he got his offensive lineman to give him a nice block and just push White away. Goodwin rolled out to the left and found Johnson. So they'll take those backs, split them out wide, put them in the backfield, do a lot of things with them.
So a good start for the Abington Ghosts, down to the Norristown 17. Abington up the middle for a couple of yards.
That again was Goodwin on the keeper that time, and again just trying to throw a little change of pace at the Norristown defense. We've seen 2 big plays, one on a Goodwin keeper, and that time the pass downfield to Jim Johnson. So far Abington just keeping Norristown off balance enough, keeping them on their heels, and now inside the 20.
Keeping us off balance too, trying to figure out who ran that ball. All right, 2nd and 9 for Abington. Goodwin appears to be John Connor on that other side. A short gain for him. Yaboa Kabold back on the field. Pete Toto coming off. So he appears to be all right. And that's big for Norristown, having him back on that line.
Yeah, absolutely. He's also very important on the offensive line. So I'm sure Norristown a little scared early, but Yaboa looks good.
And you really can't lose players like that. You can't use a lot of your players on the line, and then you have players such as Troy Swittenberg in the backfield who have 2-way players. If you lose them on one side, you're also losing them on the other.
Yep.
3rd and 8 for Abington. Been successful in these so far. Goodwin to pass. Looking downfield. Tipped up in the air. Almost caught by an Abington receiver in the end zone, but incomplete. 4th down here.
And good pressure from Trey Hadrick from the safety spot. Really an aggressive move to the ball and excellent timing by Trey Hadrick to just get his hands on that. Goodwin really throwing into a lot of traffic that time.
So Abington will attempt the field goal. Matt Johnson, and it is good. A great kick from Matt Johnson. And there we go. It's 3-0 Abington. And it's always good to put points on the board on your first drive. That has got to build up the confidence of Abington.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly a big statement, only getting 7 points against Central Bucks West last week. Of course, for any of you who watched the Philadelphia Eagles-Atlanta Falcons game last Sunday, you know that points in your first drive doesn't mean everything. In fact, sometimes it doesn't mean anything, but certainly the Ghosts look good right there.
And very big to come out against a 2-0 Norristown team. This may be a wake-up call for Norristown, or who knows, but it definitely rattles a couple of people's minds and makes people think, wow, they put 3 points up on the board against us, and they lost 56-7 last week.
Yeah, and I think even more impressive is how they got down the field. You alluded to it in that drive that Abington converted on a couple of third down plays, and they're aggressive. You saw them throw to the goal line on their final third down play in that series and that drive. They're looking to score some points. They know they were winless last year, and really a team that is going to look up at most of the teams in Suburban 1 National this year. They have nothing to lose.
Okay, so Abington ready to kick off again. Back deep for Norristown, we have Darrell Johnson, Troy Swittenberg, and Audley Stewart. Swittenberg, of course, the dangerous man back there, and well, Johnson and Stewart are both dangerous too, but people do like to kick away from Troy Swittenberg. Kick is up. Looks like it'll be taken by Johnson. The ball bounced, and Abington with great coverage downfield. Johnson didn't get on it real quick. Norristown pinned back at about their 11-yard line. Not good field position to start for Norristown. All right, we're going to give you the Norristown offense here.
It is number 13. Senior quarterback Chris Blake leads the team onto the field. His backs, running back Troy Swittenberg, fullback Darrell Johnson. Across the front to protect Blake, Doug White, Yaboa Cabold, Mike Ginyard, Troy Ellis, and Chris Brown. The tight end is Josh Kinlock, and the wide receiver starting out will be Damian Solomon.
Norristown on first down. Swittenberg to the right, and he is stopped by the Abington defense. Looked like Steve Idzak over there on the far side. So Norristown, no gain on that play in 2nd and 10.
And it looks like Norristown came to their strength. They gave it to Swittenberg and tried to run behind Doug White, but the Ghosts were ready for that play. So Norristown will have to diversify a little bit.
It appears that Norristown does diversify the offense. They had 2 passing touchdowns last week against Pennsbury, so they do like to do both. Solomon and Hadrick wide on 2nd down. Swittenberg and Johnson in the backfield. Blake back to pass. Looking deep. Maybe a little miscommunication or a little bit of overthrow, a little bit of both.
Yeah, somebody was definitely supposed to keep going. And Chris Blake tried to float it out there and give his receiver time to run under it. But Trey Hadrick coming out of the slot. Looks like he hesitated in the seam there. And Chris Blake was looking to throw it over. Trey Hadrick looked like he could have gotten behind his man. So that may be something to watch for the future in this game.
So Norristown presented with a 3rd and 10 early on in this game from deep in their territory. Hadrick and Solomon wide again. Once again, Swittenberg and Johnson in the backfield. Blake on 3rd and 10. Looks to pass. Pass incomplete, looking for Darrell Johnson on that play. 4th down, and the Eagles will punt.
Wow, and that time it was just the execution, but a really nicely designed play. They sent Damian Solomon flying down the left side from his flanker position, and then Darrell Johnson out of the backfield coming across the field. If Chris Blake could have just floated it right over Johnson's shoulder, it looks like he could have turned upfield because he had his man beat. But they let Damian Solomon clear out that left side and send Johnson coming across. Really nice idea that time. Just early in the season, Norristown couldn't execute.
A personal foul, roughing the passer on Abington. That will lead to a Norristown 1st down. Well, I didn't see that play.
No, but that is That is how you lose games. I mean, Abington really had Norristown pinned back. Norristown got no yards on their first drive after falling down 3-0. Abington would have had good field position, and instead, Norristown has life.
Norristown with a little bit of breathing room now. Blake back to pass. Hits Damian Solomon out wide. Solomon trying to break that tackle, struggling, keeping the legs moving. He appears to have gotten the first down. That's good execution right there by Norristown. Blake to Solomon. And Damian Solomon had about 5 yards open. His defensive back playing off of him.
Yeah, that's the way to settle your quarterback down. Chris Blake is a senior, but everybody needs settling down once in a while. Let him get the quick hitter to his receiver and let your playmakers make the plays.
Now Norristown on first down. Looking a little better now, a little calmed down. Swittenberg up the middle. Keeping the legs moving. Out to about the 45.
And that's a great job of blocking by the Norristown line, don't get me wrong, but those 3 passing plays really opened it up. Really opened it up for the Eagles. You saw the Abington defense sort of back on their heels. They don't want to come full forward because Norristown's been throwing the ball some. So that time, quick hitter to Troy Swittenberg right up the middle. Productive for Norristown.
Exactly right, Walton. We'll see if it keeps Abington on their heels the whole game, and it does help the Norristown offense. Blake again, the handoff to Swittenberg up the middle. He gets the first down. So Norristown now into a bit of their drive mode after a very nice penalty from Abington.
And it looked like Norristown had some designs to throw the ball early, try and keep Abington on their heels after the first running play produced no yardage. Now that they've got a little bit of breathing room, they're going to come right at Abington with what they do best, and that's Troy Swittenberg.
The Norristown 3rd and short. I'm sorry, they didn't get the first down. Blake now on the sneak. And he got it there. So Norristown out around midfield. Now with a couple of passing plays and a couple of running plays, really pushing the Abington defense back.
And that's just power from the offensive line. Abington was ready. They had pretty much 8 guys right up on that line, all 4 linebackers filling a gap. Steve Idzak got there, but a little too late as Blake squeezed out that yard.
Blake sets the offense. Hand off to Swittenberg. He'll cut up the middle. Nice tackle over there on the far side by the Abington player. But Swittenberg pretty much bowled him over for a couple yards and took him down with him.
And that time you saw really the mature running of Troy Swittenberg, letting his blocks develop, really picking his spots. He's a straight ahead guy. He's always going up and down the field, but great lateral movement, able to shift and make people miss even in close spaces. A sign of a really good running back, and he is only a junior.
Yeah, we have another year of things to come for Troy Swittenberg, but just so much fun to watch him run. Second down here.
Whoa, where'd he go?
That one to Swittenberg up the middle. He'll cut it to the outside. Perhaps a touchdown-saving tackle, but a great run by Troy Swittenberg. Norristown moving the offense down to about the 22-yard line. And Walt, we've alluded to that great offense of Norristown, but that line is a veteran line, and they're doing a great job opening some holes right now.
Right, and the key is get Troy Swittenberg through the line of scrimmage untouched. And then he can really do a lot of things. And you also on that play saw good downfield blocking from other Norristown players.
Blake the quick hitter to Johnson, a fumble.
That play's designed to be quick, but that time looked a little bit too quick. Darryl Johnson almost took Chris Blake's arm with him, and they never really got it in there. But looked like Johnson recovered it. Blake dove on there just to make sure.
So Norristown, where we started on first down, second down, 10 from about the 22-yard line. Hedrick and Solomon, the receivers again. Blake setting the offense. Back to pass, looks up top for Damian Solomon. No flag on the play. That's a battle over there with Damian Solomon.
Yeah, that's for sure. Damian Solomon A little bit of Michael Irvin in him. Like to use those arms. But it looks like he knows how to get open. That ball was thrown a little bit to the corner. Damian Solomon was forced to go inside by excellent defense from the Abington corner.
It's nice to have a big receiver like Damian Solomon. Nice to have some size. 6'2", 200.
Yeah, that is a target. Chris Blake must love throwing to him.
So we're at 3rd and 10. Norristown offense trying to get another first down here. Blake back to pass. He'll look up top for Hadrick. And a great effort with 2 men around him. That's a great effort by Trey Hadrick. He knocked that ball up in the air. Almost wound up bringing it down back in the end zone.
Yeah, and Trey Hadrick, another big target at 6'2", 205, but that time Hadrick knew he was getting to the back of the end zone, and he just tried to stop, tried to leap up and tap the ball up into the air and bring it down with no luck. And now Trey Hadrick still inside the end zone. Looks like he's hurt. Boy, that is an awkward play, Greg, as Hadrick tried to stop. You don't know if he twisted something on the way up or landed funny coming down, but really a great effort in the back of the end zone there, and did what he could to try and catch the ball and keep it away from the Abington defender. Always dangerous when you tap that ball up in the air, but Trey Hadrick definitely had ideas of coming down with that, and unfortunately it looks like he's hurt.
This Suburban One league, it is a very physical league, and these corners will not just little bump and then tackle you. They will bump you, and they will do anything they can to prevent you from getting the ball. So Trey Hadrick being attended to out on the field. 1:51 left in the first quarter here. Norristown up 3-0, or excuse me, Abington up 3-0. Norristown on their first drive. They've taken up most of this quarter. Well,
yeah, Abington took a good bit getting downfield, but Norristown coming right back at them. Now it's 4th and 10, and Greg, Norristown's gone through a few kickers this year. Right now they're spotted at, it's like the Abington 23-yard line. That'd be about a 40-yard field goal. Do they have that kind of range in the arsenal?
Well, they've been trying out all kinds of people as Trey Hadrick has helped off the field. Nice applause from the fans. They've been trying all kinds of people. They've been trying Carl Baker, and they tried Kevin Qualia, who kicked off tonight. And it appears that Matt Spicko is the new man that they're going to try, and he appears to have the strong leg.
Well, that's 3 games, 3 varsity soccer players, Greg. I'm expecting by the 11th game, I'll be doing this alone, and you'll be out there kicking as a varsity soccer player.
Well, I don't know about that one. I think I'm much safer up here in the booth. Plus, you know I'm too big for all the guys out on the field anyway. I'll get a lot for that one. All right, 4th and 10 for Norristown. Blake drops back to pass. Had Solomon open. That's a touchdown, folks. He split that ball through. Number 88, Ernie Terrell. Folks, I gotta tell you, I didn't even see that ball get through. I didn't know if the Abington player had gotten it, and obviously Ernie Terrell got that one.
Yeah, Chris Blake was going for it all that time. He had Damian Solomon cutting across the field from the right side, wide open. Looked like Solomon was wide open on the crossing pattern, might have taken it in himself. But Solomon was at the 5, and Chris Blake wanted it all. And he split 2 Abington defenders right into the arms of Ernie Terrell, and boy, it is so nice to have a lot of receivers who can catch the ball in traffic. You've seen Solomon attempt, you've seen Trey Hadrick make great attempts. That time, Ernie Terrell, number 88, split 2 defenders. Chris Blake found him right on the numbers, the only place he could, and now Norristown looking to go up 7-3.
And Ernie Terrell at 6'2", 165, another tall wide receiver and a big target to look at. We have a delay of game penalty against Norristown. They'll bump it back and make Matt Spicko's first varsity extra point attempt just a little bit harder. Kick is up. Plenty of leg. That one's good. Matt Spicco is the extra point, and the Norristown Eagles are up 7-3 with 1:44 left in the first quarter. Well, as I've said before, just a great drive by Norristown, and it's got to be nice to come back and show that you can. They put 3 points on the board, and we'll come back and we'll put 7 on you.
That's right, and the points were proportional to the excitement of the drive. Norristown's drive, not quite as, what would you call it, traditional as Abington's. Abington converted on a couple of third downs, but really ran the ball, a couple of big plays. Norristown scoring that time on a 4th and 10 pass from Chris Blake to Ernie Terrell. I tell you what, Norristown has a lot of weapons this year, just a lot of weapons. Threw the ball 6 times on that first drive. We also saw Troy Swittenberg 5 times that drive, over 40 yards already. But Norristown comes at you with a lot of things, and they showed a lot of them on that first drive.
And of course, that first drive helped out by the personal foul penalty against Abington. Norristown never looked back after that. Now Kevin Qualia out for the kickoff again. It's a short kick. That ball gets loose. And it'll be a touchback as it split a couple of Abington players and just went right through them.
Yeah, Qualia luckily had enough power on that to drive it through. It was a low kick, and had somebody been there to catch it, might have been trouble for the Eagles, but in that case, it squirted all the way to the end zone, and Abington will start at their 20.
That's a play where you got 10 guys. If you're the return man, you have 10 guys screaming at you, don't touch the ball. Let it roll into the end zone. Don't touch it and try and bring it back.
And, of course, that's different from NFL rules. In this case, the ball rolls into the end zone in high school, and it's the touchback.
71.
Abington with a quick hitter up the middle. Appeared to be Dave Brooks, and they just stopped right there by the Norristown front 5.
That is a nose guard's job. And that time, Mike Ginyard just stuck Dave Brooks as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage. Mike Ginyard shooting out of the middle of that 5-man line.
So we said a lot of two-way players on that line, and a lot of guys who have played there before, so they know what to expect. 2nd down and 10 for Abington as they got nothing on the last play.
Whoa.
Another quick hitter up the middle. Appears that Norristown recovered a fumble. Yaboa Cabol coming out there with the football. There was a fumble on the play. Tough to see with all those guys around there, but they came up with the ball, and the Norristown defense creating opportunities for their offense.
That's right, and that time the deception got to the Ghosts. Looked like as the back had a little bit of room there and got through, but Norristown was not fooled and got down low enough to strip that ball out, and then just a big pile up. And Norristown squirts out of the pile with the ball, and now 25 more yards to go.
So Norristown taking advantage of a mistake on their first drive, now hoping to take advantage of an offensive mistake on their second drive. Swittenberg up the middle. Troy Swittenberg doesn't go down easily. You always think he's down, and he gets that couple extra yards.
Yeah, that's just from keeping the legs moving, and he's straight up and really likes to find holes. I mean, he's not the tallest guy, so that helps him too. So a low center of gravity, keeping the legs moving. That's what helps him get those couple of extra yards, and man, they really pile up at the end of a season.
The 2nd and 4 for Norristown. Inside the 20-yard line. This is great. You can't ask for better field position. Swittenberg on the left side. Cuts inside. He's got an easy road to the end zone. Touchdown. Troy Swittenberg from 19 yards puts the Norristown Eagles up 13-3.
I'll tell you what, that looked too easy. It just looked too easy, and Troy Swittenberg makes it look easy. But Greg, that time, Darrell Johnson picked off 2 guys for Troy Swittenberg. Swittenberg saw the block coming, knew it was coming, and ran right inside Darrell Johnson. Darrell Johnson, 1 guy on each shoulder. Just an amazing block from the fullback. who got outside, turned his shoulders to the sideline, took off 2 Abington defenders, and then Troy Swittenberg with great vision just cut inside him, cut it back to the outside, untouched.
You know, Matt Spicko on to attempt his second extra point of the night. Chris Blake is the holder. Kick is up, and it's good. So Norristown with a 14-3 lead late in the first quarter. I don't think Norristown could ask for any more right now.
And somehow that Abington statement at the beginning of the game is starting to look like a question all over again. I think the Ghosts are a little bit shell-shocked right now at Norristown, showing a little bit of a killer instinct here early in this fourth quarter. Obviously, they're going to have to sustain it. And this is not the toughest team they're going to play this year by any means. But really keeping their focus, and this is what you have to do, especially in a difficult conference like this. Somebody gives you the ball down that low, you take advantage of it, and Norristown wasted no time doing just that.
And with a tough game next week against CB West, probably would be nice if they could put this game away with a now 11-point lead. It'd be nice if they could put this game away and just kind of relax for the rest of the game. Yeah, and we don't have to say it, but we all know that is a team, Central Bucks West, that won't give you the ball down there. They will not turn it over. They will not make those mistakes. Collie on for his third kickoff of the game. Again, a short kick. Taken by one of the up men. Ball is loose. Norristown recovers the football again. Made by number 55, Charles Monteleone, to Norristown, forcing the fumbles, and another bad mistake by Abington.
Yeah, and that time it was a player who's you suspect is not usually in that position. It was a guy who caught the ball short, made the right play, certainly, but then you saw him hesitate, looking for his blockers, and really not experienced in returning that kickoff. It was pretty obvious, and that time the big hit just jarred it loose.
So the Norristown offense just thinking, wow, can this get any better with 7 seconds left in the first quarter? Blake back to pass, looking for Hadrick, thrown into triple coverage. They still got a piece of that there, but incomplete.
And that's just confidence. That's Chris Blake having confidence in his arm and in his receivers. Probably a ball that you look at, maybe shouldn't be thrown, but I have to tell you something, Trey Hadrick had the position. These Norristown receivers really know how to get themselves in position to catch the ball. And that's going to save Chris Blake a lot of interceptions and get these receivers a lot of catches.
And that's definitely what size will do for you. So now Norristown 2nd and 10. This will be the last play of the first quarter. Blake on the draw to Swittenberg. He'll get a few yards. That'll be the end of the first quarter. We'll walk to the other end of the field. Norristown up 14-3. And you got to say, Walt, I think Norristown's coming out and doing what they wanted to do in this game.
Absolutely, and you're seeing all facets of their offense. But so far, it's been the defense and the special teams that have been the difference. When you get your team giving you the ball down there at 25 yards away, any offense, but especially an explosive offense like this Norristown one, will really capitalize on mistakes like that. So it's good for the defense to get those big plays in, come back and get their rest, and that way they're going to stay fresh. We've seen the past couple of years where, despite all the great running backs and the great talent on offense, Norristown's had some trouble sustaining some drives. And in the end of games, in a big conference like this with big players, all your linemen over 200 pounds, a defense, any defense, especially one that's a bit smaller and quicker like the Norristown defense,